Earth has long been destroyed, perhaps by war, perhaps by depletion. It's not entirely clear. A crew of space travelers arrive at a new planet. This new world becomes their home, and on it, they build a society. As the population grows, the original colonists create a caste system, placing themselves at the top. In order to maintain their power, they hoard advanced technologies, keeping the rest of the civilization locked in ignorance. To the lower classes, these colonists appear as gods, not because they are divine, but because they possess tools the rest cannot even comprehend. This world was imagined in the novel Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny. Eventually, a rogue god named Sam rises. His followers call him Mahasamatman. He is a rebel, a heretic, a truth-teller. He joins a group called the Accelerationists, those who aim to unveil the illusion, to share the forbidden power with all, to crash the false order and start again. Yeah, that was fiction. But what if we're living it right now? Right now, in the real world, technology is advancing at speeds the human mind can barely comprehend. Generations just 10 years apart are living in realities light years away. What once took centuries now happens in decades. What took decades now happens in years. Consider this. It took 400 years to go from inventing glasses to inventing the microscope, but only 60 years to go from discovering DNA to editing it. The first programmable computer? 1940s. It had 1 to 5 transistors. By the 1970s, 4,000. The 1990s, 1 million. The 2000s, 40 million. And by the 2020s, over 40 billion. And we're still accelerating, approaching hundreds of billions and beyond. This may just sound like numbers, but it's not. This is the power of a godlike force compounding at rates that have already outpaced human comprehension. We call it innovation, progress, capitalism. But what it really is a machine, one we've been building for centuries. It promises abundance, connectivity, control. But beneath the surface is an operating system we never consciously agreed to, perpetual acceleration. Faster markets, faster choices, faster emotions, faster collapse. Technology has become the engine. Capitalism is the fuel. And our collective psyche is trapped in the passenger seat. The roads are endless, the dashboard's blinking red, and no one seems to know where we're going. Or worse, who's even driving. In 2008, Benjamin Noyes, professor of critical theory at the University of Chichester, coined the term. It was inspired by the fictional rebels in Lord of Light, and it describes a real-world philosophy. It's not just a theory, it's a worldview. Accelerationism is the belief that we should increase the speed of capitalistic and technological growth, knowing it will intensify the problems. To what end? Collapse or transformation. For accelerationists, the chaos we're living through, the anxiety, the burnout, the ecological collapse, is not a crisis to solve, but a process to accelerate. To some on the left, it's a way to push the system to its breaking point, so that a new, post-capitalist world can rise from the rubble. To others on the right, especially thinkers like Nick Land, there is no redemption, only inevitability, only the machine. No one is in control, and the sooner we crash, the better. Because maybe, they say, the anticipation of doom is worse than the impact itself. But here's what most people miss. Accelerationism isn't just about technology. It's about capitalism as a metaphysical force, something beyond question, beyond reform, beyond imagination. Technology, in this view, is the capitalist vehicle required to reach a post-capitalist future. But what if capitalism is no longer a system? What if it's a myth? Mark Fisher once wrote, "It's easier to imagine the end of the world than the end of capitalism." Let that sink in. We can dream up multiverses, simulated realities, interdimensional travel, but a society without markets, without profit, without hyper-efficiency. We draw a blank. That's how deep the programming runs. Capitalism has become more than economics. It's a theology, one that absorbs all alternatives. Even our rebellions are monetized. Our outrage becomes data. Our resistance becomes content. Many powerful voices, tech CEOs, futurists, and investors will tell you that progress is natural, that this speed is evolution, that no one can control it. We often hear that technology is neutral, but is it? Every tool carries the imprint of the hand that shaped it. And if that hand is guided by profit, by competition, by domination, then the tool will not liberate. It will scale our shadow. An AI trained on biased data will reinforce the very systems we hoped it would fix. An automation revolution without soul becomes a factory of loneliness. A hyper-connected world without interconnection becomes a prison of noise. Ask yourself, who benefits from this acceleration? Not the artists, not the workers, not the seekers, but the institutions that can weaponize scale. Big tech, big finance, big surveillance. They want frictionless futures, because friction is where resistance lives. Because slowing down gives you time to ask, what am I serving? What am I sacrificing? And who told me this was normal? Accelerationism isn't just an idea. It's the unspoken religion of our age. Its altar is the algorithm. Its priests wear lanyards. Its gospel is speed. And most of us kneel without even realizing. Not because we believe, but because we can't imagine anything else. But here's the truth. The machine is not alive. It does not love you. It does not hate you. It does not care. It only reflects. And what it reflects is us. If we feed it hunger, fear, distraction, and despair, that is exactly what it will give back, at scale. But part of what makes us human is that we can pause. We can reflect. We can choose again. Maybe we're not as helpless in this machine as we think. Maybe we can apply the brakes. Maybe we can take the wheel. So what do? We remember. We remember that our power lies not in speed, but in awareness. Not in profit, but in presence. We imagine a future not defined by limitless consumption, but by abundance. Not built on dominance, but on depth. And maybe, just maybe, we stop mistaking acceleration for destiny. Because in a world that worships speed, the most radical act is to slow down, to breathe, to listen, to feel, to remember you are not a product, you are not a metric, you are not a machine, you are human, and that is sacred. If this reached something ancient in you, share it. Comment below. Do you believe we're heading towards salvation or just a shinier collapse? And more importantly, who benefits from the fact that we no longer ask? Don't let the machine map your fate. Subscribe to steer your own story.